and we'll discuss some of his pastimes and the relevance of his teachings and Lord Chaitanya's mercy and compassion in our lives, day-to-day lives. So, yeah, today is also a fasting day. So, if you're not hearing me, the voice is not loud enough for you all to hear, please let me know. So, we can increase up the volume a bit. So, Lord Chaitanya appeared 540 years ago in Navadvip, Dham, West Bengal today, and as the son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. And he chose to appear on the occasion of a lunar eclipse. So while he was in his mother's womb, 9 months had passed, but he was not showing any signs of wanting to come out. And his parents were a little anxious. And when they consulted a wise person, he said, this person is special, and he's going to choose his own time to come out. And it took 13 months when he was born, and it was the occasion of lunar eclipse. So in lunar eclipse, the typical tradition is people are taking a dip in the holy rivers, and they are chanting the names of the Lord. So this also, this timing also conveys the very purpose for why he was coming. One, the eclipse was conveying that this is Kali Yuga, the dark age, and the holy names chanting was also conveying that this is what is a medicine for this Kali Yuga. And this is what Lord Chaitanya came to give as a gift, the Sankirtan movement. And when Lord Chaitanya was born, a few of his names in his childhood, which he received, one was Nimai, because he was born under a neem tree. And another was Gauranga, because of his beautiful golden complexion. And then another was Vishwambar, because the astrologer could see that he is going to nourish the whole world. And therefore the name Vishwambar was given to him. And, a little brief of Lord Chaitanya's life. So he grew up. We saw the wonderful pastimes of Devi Nimai, Lord Chaitanya. And he grew up as a Brahmin boy who later became a young teacher. He was a teacher of grammar, Sanskrit grammar, and householder. He was very beautiful, 7 feet tall, long arms touching knees, and golden form. So his life changed after he met with his spiritual master, Ishwarapuri. And after meeting his spiritual master, he was showing all the signs of ecstasy in pure love of Godhead. And he was always absorbed in Krishna, dancing and chanting in ecstasy. So later, he took sannyas to benedict the whole world and share the philosophy of Achintya Veda, which we'll talk more later. So, who is Lord Chaitanya? Why are we talking about it? So let's see. So to many, he is known as a saint in India, as a great devotee of Krishna, but he is none other than Krishna himself. He is Radha and Krishna combined in the mood of Radharani. So this verse is apt verse which describes Lord Chaitanya. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namane Bhaktisena. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani. You are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances. So Lord Chaitanya is also mentioned in the scriptures. So we have to look out for one thing, that when anybody is saying that there's an incarnation of God, is there a reference in the scriptures? Because all incarnations of God have a reference in the scriptures. And Lord Chaitanya, unlike other incarnations, is termed as a Chanmavatar, or a hidden incarnation, where he is not openly presenting out or manifesting that he is the incarnation of God. So specifically, when in this incarnation, he is showing himself as a devotee of the Lord. And therefore, the references in the scriptures are there, but pointing indirectly kind of to him. So here, in this verse, Krishna Varnam Krishna Krishnam Sangopanga Sapasam Yeke Sankirtan Prior Vedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So here, his weapons are mridanga and kartals, and his companions are Panchatattva. We'll talk about who's Panchatattva. So here in the center, you see this is from our headquarters, Mayapur, ISKCON headquarters located in Mayapur, the temple. This is Panchatattva deities out from that temple in Mayapur. In the middle, you will see this is Lord Chaitanya, and then to his right, it is Lord Nityananda, and to Lord Nityananda's right is Advaita Acharya. And to left of Lord Chaitanya, it is Srivas Pandit, and then to his left, it is Gadadhar. Okay. So these are the associates of Lord Chaitanya, and Srila Prabhupada says that when the king comes, he is not coming alone. He's always coming with his entourage, right? He's always with his security, his ministers, his queen, and everything. So similarly, the Lord is never coming alone. He's always coming with his associates. So these are the associates, and they are commonly known as Panchatattva. And they broke open basically the love of the treasure chest of the love of Godhead and distributed it freely to everyone without any distinction, without any discrimination. So it was open for all. So when Lord Krishna came and showed his pastimes, his leelas, and he showed how people can work, have a loving relationship with him. And we see that when we talk about loving relationships, as friends of Krishna, Gopas, they used to play pranks on him. So one pastime is like where they're saying, okay, Krishna, I got your rasgulla. Close your eyes, open your mouth. And when Krishna is opening the mouth, instead of the rasgulla, they're putting some flower petals in his mouth. And when Yashoda Mata is chastising Krishna, saying, were you a pig in your last life? Because he's playing with mud. And he was a pig in his last life because he's Lord Vara. So, and there are several such pastimes where it's very intimate and very nectarian. And Krishna has showed all these pastimes and showed that one can worship Krishna in the 5 different rasas. That is starting from Shanta Rasa and from Shanta to Dasya Rasa, where one is doing it as a servant, Hanumanji, and from Dasya, one is a Sakya Rasa as a friend like Arjuna, and Vatsalya Rasa like Yashoda, and Madhurya Rasa like that. So he showed all this, but after Radha and Krishna left this planet, this knowledge with advent of Kali Yuga and all this, foreign invasions and everything, kind of almost got lost. And with the advent of Panchatattva, Again, this was all brought back to life and it was made available for all of us on that. So, what were the reasons? Let me just discuss some of the reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. I'm keeping it very brief out there. So, Krishna desired to experience the love Radharani had for him. And why is that Krishna would want to experience that love? So let's talk about the gopis of Vrindavan. Just a small story to say. So once Lord Krishna had a headache, and he told Narad Muni, only the dust of the devotees of my lotus, the devotees' lotus feet can cure me from this headache. And Narad Muni went about asking everybody for the dust of their feet, but nobody was willing to give their dust because everybody was concerned that if they give their dust to Krishna from their feet, then they are going to go to hell. So, but next, Narad Muni went to the gopis and he asked them for the same, and they were very willingly giving it off. And he asked them, you know, right, that if you're giving this, you may go to hell. And their response was, we don't care if we go to hell or not. We want Krishna to be cured. And more than anything else, just hearing that Krishna is in pain, that itself was worse than hell for us. So that was a level of at least the gopis were. They never thought about themselves. It was all about Krishna. And Radharani was the chief among these gopis. She was the topmost of these gopis. And a couple more stories related to that. Like when Radha and Krishna were sitting together and there was a bumblebee which was coming around and troubling, Krishna asked one of his friends to, honeybee, and Krishna said, get this honeybee out. So his friend got the honeybee and told Krishna, Madhu is gone. And Radharani, who was sitting just beside Krishna, just hearing that Madhu is gone, is lost into that trance where she's feeling that separation from Krishna, that Krishna is gone. Right? That Madhu is gone, she's taking it as Krishna is gone, and she's showing that ecstasy of in separation. And Krishna is looking and she's wondering what is she going through? And there's another pastime where Radharani is swinging all the other gopis one after another with Krishna just to please him and to please other gopis too. And she's just happy doing this. This is not something which we can see in a material world, that you're sharing your love like that with somebody else. And here she is doing this is something which is beyond this material world, and she's very happy doing this. Krishna is again wondering what is it that makes her happy, that she just wants to see me happy, and he's unable to fathom this love. He wants to experience. And he wants to experience also that what makes him attractive to his devotees. What is that gives them joy? What do they think? What do they feel when they see at me? So that was one more. And then he is wanting to glorify the love of Radharani. There's one. And two, Krishna came and gave the conclusion in the Bhagavad Gita that is complete surrender. He said, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshesi masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. But after that, he thought, okay, I told them to surrender, but giving them an example about how it should be done would be a good idea. So that was one more reason why he came as Lord Chaitanya, who was, as a devotee of Krishna, showed us how to follow the teachings of the Gita. And three was Advaita Acharya was praying for looking at how Kali Yuga was, degrading people and how people were distracted from the primary goal of life and forgetting Krishna. He was very disturbed. He was sad, and therefore every day he was offering Tulsi with Ganges water and calling out loudly to Krishna to come and save people in this age of Kali. And age of Kali in Bhagavatam, this verse, this translation is here, which describes that, O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men are almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So we'll specifically talk about the misguided and disturbed later in the talk. But out of his compassion, he was calling out for Lord Chaitanya to come and save all these souls, give them the purpose of life. So Lord Chaitanya, when he came, he shared his philosophy, which is known as Achintya Veda Veda. So just before I talk about that, which before him, it was Adi Shankaracharya who came and shared about the oneness, about how we are all one with God, one aspect of it, right? So he laid the foundation for what you can say for a Vedic temple. Right? And then the other acharyas like Madhvacharya, Nimbarakacharya, Ramanujacharya, all of this came and they talked about the distinctness, about how we are distinct from the Lord. And it said that okay, they created the walls and the roof for the temple. And Lord Chaitanya came and he gave a complete understanding that Achintya Veda Veda means we are simultaneously one with the Lord and different from Him. And this is not something which is conceivable for us in our material conditions. And he installed the deities of Radha Krishna in this temple. And that is the soul of the Vedic knowledge. Is basically saying the essence of Vedic teachings is to understand one's divinity as a part and parcel of Krishna and thus serve him to please him. So Lord Chaitanya, he gave 8 verses which are known as Siksastakam. I am not going to go into all the 8 verses. We are just going to talk about 2 verses here which are glorifying the holy name. And the rest of the teachings he also gave it to his disciples, the Goswamis, and they have it documented as well. So here in this verse, see, the first one is Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Adirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vidaranam Vidhyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Sapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction. It is a life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. So, verse number 2 Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisam Itajanu Nanu Raga. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction. So these 2 verses are glorifying the holy name, the auspiciousness of the holy name, and our unfortunate situation as well. So, centered around the the holy names and the potency of the holy names. And Lord Chaitanya was going around everywhere in India, uh, giving out the love of God. And while on his travel career, he was chanting this. If you feel free, you can join me in this chanting. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Rakshana. Krishna, 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 Parima. Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav, Rama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parima. O Lord Krishna, please protect me and maintain me. O Lord Ram, descendant of King Raghu, please protect me. O Krishna, O Keshava, killer of the Kesi demon, please maintain me. And wherever he went, he spread the love of God, and it was like electricity. Like he came, he was in contact, who he came in contact with, were surcharged with the love of God. And they in turn went back home and they passed it on to their neighbors, to their villagers, everybody, and everybody was surcharged with the love of God. So everybody in the land of India, wherever Lord Chaitanya was going, was surcharged with this love of God. And we'll talk about some pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and which will be specifically those. I'm picking up these in the context of what I'm going to talk next. Okay, so here's a pastime where Lord Chaitanya made even animals, or I would say souls in animal consciousness or in animal bodies, chant Krishna's names. And these animals, lions, tigers, elephants, deers, forgetting their natural enmity, animosity, were chanting because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Their consciousness was lifted up beyond their animal platform, and they were able to chant Krishna's names. Again, this is not something which is heard of anywhere. And this is one pastime that has touched me deeply. This is Vasudeva the leper. So this devotee, Vasudeva, he was suffering from leprosy. And leprosy, for any of you who don't know, the whole body is technically decaying. It's decaying and it's oozing out pus. It's oozing out all smelly and infested with maggots or other insects and everything else. It's it's not a clean condition and it's very messy from that aspect. Sure. So this devotee, he was suffering from leprosy. And when he met Lord Chaitanya, there's a lot to it, but when he met Lord Chaitanya embraced. Are you guys able to hear me? When he met Lord Chaitanya embraced him. And this cured his leprosy, and he got a beautiful and handsome body. Okay. And we see here in this picture that, this faint and the background was a leprosy, was the Vasudeva with the leprosy, and then here is Vasudeva with the beautiful body. And this pastime is significant also was because the devotees of Lord Chaitanya were sharing this with King Prataparudra. And when they were sharing this pastimes with King Pratap, they were uh, trying to tell him that, he is the incarnation of Godhead. He is Krishna. And Pratap was not fully convinced, even when with different pastimes. But when it came to this one pastime, he was like, yes, he is God. And the reason is because in any of the other, divine personalities, when they had an encounter with somebody like this leprous, either they cured them by just the wave of the hand or by putting water onto them or just by touching them. Nobody ever embraced a leper. And this was for here, it convinced King Pratapurudra that Lord Chaitanya is so compassionate towards all living entities, and he could embrace somebody in the condition of a leprosy, and this has to be none but the Supreme Lord, who is the origin of all compassion. And that was something very significant from that aspect. And this is Amogha, the person on the bench. He was the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was an associated devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And his daily routine was just going around finding faults with what people were doing. He was a fault finder, and he came to that extent that he even found faults in Lord Chaitanya. At that point, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was like, okay, I wish you were dead. I don't mind my daughter being a widow. I wish you were dead because you're crossed the line. And soon after that, he suffers from cholera. And then when Lord Chaitanya came to know of that, he goes to his house and places his hand on his chest and, telling him, where is this, where have you got this things from? Give it up. And he cures him from this cholera. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him, why did you cure him? He was such an offender. And Lord Chaitanya says, everybody, my devotees are dear to me, and everybody who's related to my devotees are dear to me. Even a dog in the house of a devotee is dear to me. I'm just making this, stressing on this pastime, because even if one of us take up, say yes to Lord Chaitanya and take up the process of receiving his mercy, not only us, but everybody in the family, our all near and dear ones, everybody is going to get benefit with that. And we all know about this. Most of us know about Jagai and Madai. They were two very sinful, notorious dacoits. They became dacoits, I would say. And by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, they got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And they are like the poster boys of what Lord Chaitanya could cure, how much merciful Lord Chaitanya was. And they became pure devotees. So that's hopeful for everybody in any situation, that if Jagai Madai could get the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we all have hope as well. And here's another pastime of this elderly devotee of Jagannath. So this elderly woman was a devotee of Jagannath. When the darshan for Jagannath opened, she was so eager to have the darshan of Lord Jagannath that she was not thinking what she was doing. She just climbed down to Lord Chaitanya's shoulders and was seeing Lord Jagannath. She was having the darshan of Lord Jagannath. And when Lord Chaitanya's servant saw that, he was like, no, you have to get down. What are you doing? And Lord Chaitanya was stopped him and said, no, that's fine. I wish I had the same eagerness like her. So the pastime shows the humility of Lord Chaitanya, as well as shows that he doesn't take any offense. And he is only very happy to see us progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. So For us, it's all an encouraging, all win-win situation to say yes to Lord Chaitanya. Okay. And this about Kurma Brahman. So during his South India tour, Lord Chaitanya comes across and stays with Kurma Brahman. And Kurma Brahman is so impressed and influenced with him that he wants to give up all his household duties and go with Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya corrects him and says uh, this particular verse. "Pyare dekhe tare Krishna Upadesh, Hamara Agya Guru and Tare Desh." So we instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this life. So this is for all of us as well, that we take shelter of Lord Chaitanya, we say yes to him, receive his mercy, and understand the Gita and the Bhagavatam and share that with everybody else because the world really, really needs it. And I'm going to step into the next slide where we're going to talk about the application. But before we step into the next slide, I'll share what I came across one of the news articles last week, I think last week it was. There was an article on CNN where we shared about how an 18-month-old kid died at home because the kid was left alone by the mother. The mother went on a vacation for 10 days. The mother, she just left the baby in a playpen, left some bottles of milk, and then she went on vacation. And when she came back, naturally the baby was dead and dehydrated. And the investigators, the article writes it out, who investigated this as to what happened, were so disturbed and shaken to see what the child went through. Because for all those 10 days, he was crying, trying to eat his own feces, whatever it was. It was very sad to see that. Now, the conclusion was of the investigation was this happened because the mother was suffering from mental health issues. Okay. So now this mental health is something which we are hearing, that word called mental health, we are hearing quite often, and more so in the corporate circles. We are hearing this much more and more, mental health, mental health. Okay. To that extent that Chrysler today has one day off called a well-being day, where people can take off and take care of themselves. Kind of. Not enough, but a good gesture. Okay. So what is this mental health? Where is it coming from? Where are these issues coming from? So simply put, it is the experience that one is going through day to day in life, and especially the setbacks and how one is processing them. Okay. And all these setbacks and how one is processing them adds up and leading to a breakdown somewhere. Just like when you're in your chemistry class, you used to do that pH test or something where you're keeping on adding drops of liquid, and suddenly after X number of drops, the liquid becomes pink, and you make a recording how many drops like that, right? But it's not the first drop, it's not the second drop, it's not the third drop, but it's probably the 12th or 15th drop which suddenly makes it. So similarly, how we are processing our mental state, the life, right? As we go through is accumulating and it impacts our mental health. And unless I'm bringing this point up here, that unless we have this understanding of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, of why we are here, what is our purpose, who are we, all this, unless we have this understanding, one will process the day-to-day happenings in a way that is only negative. And this negativity adds up and impacts the mental health. So it's very important for us, specifically, to take this mercy. And I'm specifically, I'll say Lord Chaitanya's mercy, because he's so compassionate and kind, as we have seen from all these pastimes that I just shared. He's willing to take us. We just have to say yes to him. And he's willing to take us back home, back to Godhead, where we can be in those pastimes with Krishna, which we talked about, how everybody is happy and enjoying those pastimes with Krishna. Think about it. All this mess, all this suffering, all this disappointments in the material world versus they're playing with Krishna. And your team wins, Krishna's team loses, Krishna is carrying you on his shoulders. Right? So why do we have to struggle, keep struggling here? Let us just say yes to Lord Chaitanya and go back home, back to Godhead. And here are these two verses from the scriptures again, which reiterate the same thing. Right? So in Kali Yuga, Kale Dosha Nide Rajan, Asti He Ko Mahan Guna, Kirtana Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vijay Vijay. Translation, my dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental. The next verse is Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Eva Kelava, Hello Naseva, Naseva, Translation, in this age of Kali, there is no other means of self-realization than chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And one point specifically I would like to stress on is, especially in Kali Yuga, we are either our mental state is, it can either we are going up or we are going. There is nothing like a status quo. And the only way we can go is take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, the scriptures. Otherwise, everything that is going around us is going to pull us down. And thanks to technology, it's happening much more fast. And even subconsciously. So it's getting only more precarious, more dangerous. So I'm just using this opportunity on this auspicious day of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Let's say yes to Lord Chaitanya. Let's say yes to Lord Chaitanya. And some of you might be saying, might be concerned with what I said about the mental state. And if you don't want to end up like that lady, yes, let's say yes to Lord Chaitanya. Because he is so capable and is so compassionate that he can lift us up much more faster than any of the Kaligatics can lift us up. And for those who are thinking, oh, I am mentally healthy, no problem, very good. You come join us, receive Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and help us give it out to others. Because we need this. Everybody is suffering. It's very important. And we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada, who is a gift of Lord Chaitanya to us. He came here in his ripe old age and set up this society, ISKCON. He said like he built a house where the whole world can live. All of us, wherever we are in our trajectory to Krishna, we have the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. We can just take that and anytime, as I said, right, if you're traveling long distance, it's always better to have company. He has created this society to give us a company to go to Krishna, so that it makes it easier, it makes it joyful. We just have to say yes to Lord Chaitanya. That's all it's need. Now, how to receive Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Simple two cents. From a sincere heart, submit to Lord Chaitanya, requesting for his mercy, and we chant these two verses and gain his mercy from that. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Prabhu. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Pandit Srivas Thakur, and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. O Lord, O energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. So we have this great fortune of having come in contact, with ISKCON, where we have this support system, where not only we are talking about how to understand the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, but also how to be a better family, how to be a better parents, you know, how everything, how to be better children too, to our parents. Everything is being shared in this society. It is, you can say, one-stop solution where one can find all the resource they need for making happy in this life and making it successful so we can be very happy in going back home, back to work. So that's my humble attempt at presenting and placing it out to say, let us say yes to Lordship. Any comments, questions? Yes, anything to say, anything to share, or anything if I missed or want to add so that we all can benefit this also.
Very nice class too. Thank you. Put together very nicely. It was very disturbing to hear the news. First, I mean, because she's mental case, I could really, somewhat it gives me some reason. Otherwise, it's like I couldn't fathom somebody doing something like to an 18-month child.
Yes,
So,
and
yeah.
the mother's love is very pure in this material world. It's an example of the pure love, and we always hear about how a mother is always sacrificing for the children. And even in the case of, there are cases even when people are like declared as mentally ill, even those mothers, they take care of the children. You know, this was very disturbing and sad to hear about this news. That just shows the progression of how things are degrading in life.
I was actually about to say that the same thing, that what we hear in scriptures are kind of becoming true right in front of our eyes.
Right.
So yeah, I was telling that what we heard or saw or read in the scriptures are becoming true in front of our eyes. But thank you so much for a very wonderful presentation on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. I think we have Chaitanya Charitamrita here, which is actually a life story and documented history about how Lord Chaitanya led his life. So anyone who would want to take today, there are about how many books to anyone going to announce, who is going to announce about Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the biography of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, starting from his birth to the disappearance. Okay, so you can meet one of us and we can share more details about these books. They are available in Hindi, English, and also Telugu. Thank you again.